My name is Ranger Stella here with Alex Simbwa, and right now we go to Congo.
We go to Congo. Your darling, Congo.
But honestly, my heart bleeds for Congo. Yeah, every single morning I have to just think. And the first thing when you give me the stories, I first scanned. I'm like, oh, no Congo. And then I'm like, wait, where's Congo? Why? Now this is really more of a feature story. This comes in as an observation from a group of people and what they anticipate to happen, especially with how things are unfolding within Congo. Now, there is a concern that with the rebellion in Congo, it might widen into a whole regional war. Do we see that happening? It should be noted that a few years ago, Congo joined into the East African community. And with that, ideally, they had to be part of this big thing. The relationship had to be solid. And yet, when it comes to M23, it's speculated that they are powered by Rwanda Army Forces. So where does that
I didn't believe that at first until...
And that is why I keep on saying allegedly and speculating.
No, when you hear certain statements, you get to believe that perhaps it's true. Now, in this particular feature that you're talking about, President Paul Kagame seems to admit that their involvement as a country in the domestic dispute within the Congo is because I hear people of Tutsi origin who live in Congo are being marginalized.
Okay.
You get that?
Yes.
Now, how do you say that? You get it? It's
Did
like
you
saying...
see his recent interview? And he was saying, you know what? Anything that takes us back. Wait, and these, you guys...
The guys they captured. You branded them, my guys. They are mercenaries. They come in for the money. And they are not going to lose their lives for your country.
Yeah, okay? They're like, nope,
no
we
way.
are not
Get
doing
us the $5,000 and we'll run away.
Now, it should be noted that at the first time when the M23 rebels resurfaced in Congo, that was in 2021, that President Felix of Congo went ahead to ask for support, asking for neighbors to come through. We understand that Burundi sent in troops. Tanzania was the other one, but also Uganda has
Uganda was there, and for a different cause altogether. The argument was that we receive attacks from the ADF. So in order to prevent them from attacking us, let us make sure that we do what? We do preventive attack on them such that they don't have to come to us.
So now, just the recent, we are talking about just last month when they captured Goma. Congolese authorities see the M23 rebels as a Rwandan proxy army driven to illegally exploit the Eastern Congo's vast mineral resources, whose value is estimated in the trillions of dollars. Now, the rebels are backed by some of 4,000 troops from Rwanda, according to evidence collected by the United Nations experts. Why are we still in Congo, honestly? Why are we still there? But now, the reason why there's a speculation is because after the leaders came together, there was notably no call for rebels to withdraw from Goma. That was one of the things that were you would say, observed from that whole thing. The only thing that was said is that they were urging the fighting to end, urging them to talk, and then also have an immediate ceasefire. Things about let the rebels go away from Goma were not mentioned at all. Could we say that other African leaders, other African players are still, of course, Congo is
as long as Congo has that wealth, mineral wealth and so on, you'll hear a lot of stories. But the key thing is
that will look like that, Alex. I know this is a
what
mining.
What did you want them to look like? That's a
I know it's
quarry.
a mining area, but even then, when you look at Goma itself, it's
like a village.
Yeah.
It's like, what's your village called?
Oh.
Okay, we'll run to South Africa. Katuduke tugendeke South Africa. Eruddeyo. Wava amawulire agalaga nti you know, in South Africa they have a government of coalition, a coalition government after the ANC that has been in power since independence in 1994 failed to get a majority. They failed to get a majority in parliament. They have what they call parliamentary democracy. Since abantu mu parliament yatwala obukulembeze. Kakati what happened is that oyina okuweza waakiri ebitundu 5 ku buli 100. Naye abakiise ku mulundi guno baali 40 ne beesanga nti balina okukola gavumenti ey'ekintabuli. Gavumenti ey'ekintabuli yaleeta aba Democratic Alliance be basinzaamu abanene. Aba MK aba Jacob Zuma baagaana okwegatta nabo okuggyako nga president aliko kakati akoze eki avuddeko kati bali ne baganda affe gwe twagala nga president ko bano nti tetubeegasseeko ne basalawo okufuna Democratic Alliance abazungu ab'e South Africa. Kakati omwekiise okuva mu bazungu aba Democratic Alliance asindisa omusango mu kkooti nga guwakanya enkola ya gavumenti eyagala okujja ettaka ku bazungu oddisaasanya lifuuke lya gavumenti awatali compensation.
Right.
Now, in the opposite of privatization is nationalization. Nationalization can take effect if government believes that a certain resource, maybe land or bachine bali bagalo kireta nga baga nti bwoba oyina ettaka nga katugambe twagala kuyisaawo Jinja Express Highway naye gwe oli mu ttaka eryo tusooka ne tutwala ettaka n'onoonya gy'olaga oluvannyuma ne tukompesetinga wano baali wakanya nga bagamba bwe munzijjawo mwagala ndagewa kati South Africa etteeka lye baagala okuleeta bajja ettaka ku bazungu ne batabakompesetinga
olw'okubanga one section of the blacks bali banyigirizibwa.
Kakati ekyo kye bawakanya nga baga nti wa mu nsi gye mumanyi nti omuntu bamuggyako ettaka ne batamukola ki ne batamukompesetinga. Kakati Trump olw'enkola eyo y'okgezaako okubeera nga babaggyako ettaka yafreezinze obuyambi eri eggwanga lino ne bagamba nti already waliwo ettaka eriri confiscated. Gavumenti egambibwa okubeera nti erimu ebibiina 10 biramba era nga kigamba okubeera nti ebikolwa bya president w'eggwanga erya America abali mu gavumenti ya South Africa bagambye byonna byakoleddwa oluvannyuma lwa misinformation ne propaganda agenderedde okubeera nga ayonoona erinnya ly'eggwanga erya South Africa. Baba Democratic Alliance abazungu b'e South Africa bagamba nti ekyo ettaka eryo teriri mu etteeka eryo lye baagala okukozesa teriri mu ssemateeka. It is unconstitutional and they are arguing that no democratic government should be given powers to seize property without compensation. Yes. Now, the party said that South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa signed it into law against its advice because they advised him and told him it is not right. Some people have lived on that land for years and years and years. I experienced something in South Africa where I was talking to a white South African and they were saying, those people.
I remember you told me.
But those people, referring to the black people,
within South Africa.
Those people are beginning to come to these ends instead of staying in their townships. You know, there are places called townships in South Africa, almost ghetto. You think Katanga, you think Kibera in Kenya, and so on. That's what maybe Soweto in South Africa, but not only Soweto. Even Cape Town itself, as you leave the airport, a few kilometers off the airport, maybe 3 or 5 kilometers out of the airport, onto a certain direction, you'll find a lot of these places, tin houses basically, where people are residing and so on and so forth. So
I want to ask you a question. should you pay for your great-grandparents' actions? Because ideally the force here and the whole reason for this is the argument of batunyigiriza bajjajjammwe banyigiriza omuddugavu. So this is their way of
okubanaazaako ezziga kwandijja bwe kuti anti n'abazungu they illegally acquired that land.
Okay. Should we say some?
Most.
Okay.
Most of them illegally acquired the land. So in they call it redistribution. Redistribution, that a few of you, just a bunch of you, own most of the land in the country. You get it?
Yeah.
So is there a way to redistribute it such that it can? The land question globally is a very complex thing.
Yes.
In Uganda alone, we have, I think, around 4 or 5 types of land. You get it? There's land which can pass on from you to your child to the other, the Milo kind and so on. There's land that is allegedly belonging to government land. You can get a lease of that land. They lease it to you for 49 years, for 99, for a given period of time, for productivity and so on. Then there is what they call communal land, where you don't sell, you don't buy, you just use. From generation to generation, you use and so on. Then there is the land question globally is a very complex thing.
But is there also, even as we move on, is there such a thing as fairness when it comes to this thing? Can we rewrite our past by correcting the present?
Listening to the person I talked to you about, you'll be amazed that you see, their origin, although white, is not English. And they claim to have opposed British rule and refused to learn even English. You'll find a South African who cannot properly speak English when they are white.
And yet they are white. Yeah.
And they will tell you, we're resisting it. We speak Afrikaans.
That's with a K.
With a K.
We get to move on to the Israeli Prime Minister, Netanyahu. You talked about him, that was last week, if I'm not mistaken, who appeared in court for his corruption trial. Now, this trial started again on Monday, and it's an ongoing trial at that. When he was entering the courtroom, one of there was a lady who shouted and was asking him, "Don't you think it's time to get all the hostages out?" Now, her comments come after 3 Israeli hostages who were released on Saturday appeared gaunt and frail. As you can see the video right there. Now, Netanyahu is the first sitting Israeli leader to take the stand as a criminal defendant. He is accused of accepting tens of thousands of dollars worth of cigars and champagne from a billionaire Hollywood producer in exchange for assistance with personal and business interests. He's also accused of promoting advantageous regulations for media moguls in exchange for favorable coverage of himself and his family.
Now, the reason this is part of our script this morning is majorly he is a sitting prime minister who accepts to go to court. Democracy in the real sense. Another one who is much, much less in another country, somebody who is much, much less down there, will arrogantly tell you, you touch me if you think you...
We shall show you.
We shall show you.
But do you know, a lot can be said about a white man. But Alex, one of the things that I can appreciate about some of these countries is that there is a line. There is a line
because
that
listen
you
to the crimes. Listen to the crimes.
Taking cigars.
Taking wine.
We know people who have taken like...
the country. Somebody steals the country from you. You get it?
Yeah,
And you go scot-free. I know 3 guys who took money that belonged to, it was supposed to treat AIDS patients, to treat tuberculosis, to treat malaria. 3 guys took all of it. Okay? 3 guys. Money that is meant for millions and millions of people was stolen by 3 guys like this. And as we speak, they are all Bariabutara in Uganda.
I would wonder what in English that would be like. But here we're talking about cigars, champagne. Also, just getting
somebody's in court because of cigars and
because
champagne.
Of that. But that is what I appreciate about them, that there are lines. Once you cross them, let's first.
Of course, the issue is, and if you can touch cigars, if you can touch wines, I'll give you an example. Former president in the U.S., Bill Clinton, was leaving office, and there was a question of, when you went to a certain country and received gifts, were they personal gifts or gifts to the presidency? You get it? He says, these chairs were mine. Chairs! These chairs were mine. They were not chairs.
Yeah.
They were accusing him and telling him, and so on and so forth.
The things
somebody steals the car. Hey, that's the truth. You get it? Something that belongs to millions of people, somebody takes and builds their own.
Yeah, and I'm glad they take these offices seriously. Yes, to be like, you know what, anything you get of a personal nature, we fear that it might compromise you, and yet you have all this information about the country, you have all this influence. So what are they trying to give you by? What are they trying to drive you towards by giving you this?
You could be bribed into selling the country. For nothing.
Yeah, selling the country. All right, we leave it at that.